In my previous video, I took a 6-hour hike to reach a village in the mountains of eastern Sulawesi, a place where I spent several years of my childhood. Join me as I spend the next few days in this village, enjoying the company of people and the majesty of a place that is truly one of a kind.
Man, this brings back memories. Coming in all cut up from grass, exhausted, and it starts to rain, just like it always does. Some things just don't change, do they? Some things just don't change. We've made it, and I said it would take 6 hours, and that's exactly how much time it took. Almost exactly 6 hours, give or take like 4 minutes. So I'm tired, and I'm kind of overwhelmed. What an experience it's been so far. We got 3 nights here, so I'll get back to you later.
I walked through the last house my father had built before he moved on to other project locations. Over a decade later, it still looks like new.
There's our view. Well, I hope you like the sound of rain on a tin roof. You're gonna hear a lot of it.
An hour or so later, the rain stopped, and then the mist rose up from the ravines, right on cue.
My feet are totally shattered. I'm not gonna be doing any climbing. Today I'm gonna rest, see if I can get a few good drone shots, but I'm not going anywhere for today.
However, I decided to walk around the area just to have a look at a few familiar buildings. The office that my dad built in 1989, and the house he built in 1986. This was the first house, and frankly the only house, that I could genuinely call mine. Yet, I decided to go inside when the light was better the following day.
Okay, well, it's coming down on me. Yeah, it's really coming down in great big drops. So let's get, wow, it's really coming down. I gotta run, and I'm running in bare feet. You can hardly see the mountain anymore. The rain's getting so heavy. Man, I'm getting wet, but I don't care. This is like memories, man. Classic. Living in a mountain rainforest. It rains. There we go. It's time to eat. So we got some pumpkin rice and noodles.
Before long, it was time to eat a savory vegetarian meal, which the guys swallowed down in mere minutes.
10 menit sudah. Cepat sekali. Saya belum. Aduh, these guys ate in like 5 minutes. 5 menit.
Seperti hanya ditelan saja.
Di mana makan? Di lantai, bukan? These guys just gobble their food up. Yeah, it's so fast.
No TV and no internet. So it was time to relax and do what's always been the favorite activity of young people in the village: music and song.
It's about 5:30, almost 6. Went to bed at about 9:30, close to 10. And it's about the most perfect, relaxing sleep that I can remember having in years. Of course, when I woke up, I could barely move, but that's okay. It was worth it. This is so worth it.
I had to take a quick walk up to my house in the dawn because of one special thing I heard around my old house.
So many memories every morning. Being able to look up at that mountain and hear those birds. Those exact bird calls. Right there. This young lady with the guitar, she was taught by my mother how to make these. And now pancakes are a tribal tradition. And they're very good, thanks to my mother. So it's a good legacy to have, isn't it?
It began to sprinkle rain, but I had some time to see a very special place.
Have a look around and show you what's inside.
It had been enlarged a bit since I last saw it in the late 90s, and frankly, it was a little sad to see. It was no longer lived in and was fairly run down. The furniture was ratty, the white paneled walls were moldy and stained.
Been a bit run down. This table, my dad made this table. This was my seat. I would sit here and I would look out this window. Of course, it's really dirty now, but it wasn't then.
I went into my room and opened the shutters. I could remember every structural beam, the marks my dad made as he hammered the studs in on the wood, the surface of the floorboards from the hand planer that I had made as I helped my dad build the house.
And then my father made these cabinets right here. And then this, we had a deck out here. This is it. Sadly, given the climate, it's not in the best shape. But it's still very good to come see it again. I didn't know I would ever be able to do this. And this table, we had so many board games and card games, and we didn't have TV, so we just spent so much time playing different sorts of games at night. So many good memories. What a privilege. It's been raining for almost an hour, and this is the place that puts the rain in rainforest. So this is our first day here, and I have another full day tomorrow. But for now, we're just going to sit tight.
But it cleared up after lunch, and I went looking for my young friends.
Let's see what they're doing. Oh, they're husking rice the traditional way.
Go.
Kautaan mo na. Dari sa nyo pa kung sabi.
Hindi na siya nasa sulok kamdas.
Kung pilihan niya kaya ko lang tunuman.
Never napili.
Ya, aja yan mo marip mong ya.
Pinahiyo na siya.
So we're husking the rice here. A lot of good memories of this.
Kau jak beda.
This is about as traditional as an activity as you can imagine.
After that, I took a brief look into the village.
And you'll see the notched log. That is the security we have on most of these houses. And there's no doors on these houses either. If you know everybody, You don't even need doors. And I got the privilege of living here with these people.
It began to rain a little, so I made my way back to the house. And soon after I arrived, I heard a very familiar sound.
What do we got here? Oh, look at this. He brought the gong. The boys brought the gongs just for me. We used to play for every single special occasion.
This is just a simple tune, really, but it's one of the traditions of the village. A sound that was present at every celebration, every social event, every ceremony. It brought to mind the faces of people now grown up, growing old, and some gone. It was so evocative, bringing back so many memories of a time period now past. Somehow, they knew this would be meaningful to me, and for that, I was so very grateful. The evening came quickly in the forest, and soon new arrivals to the village came over to the house to hang out. And of course, after dinner, it was time to hit the gongs.
His hamming up of a rendition of traditional singing, he has totally spoiled it. You can't sing the old traditional songs and keep a straight face.
Morning came in its typical natural stillness. And I noticed something special. No clouds in the sky.
It's a sunny day, a totally sunny day. And that means I'll be able to go around and get some good video footage. I can't wait. Go. Go.
My friend led me down through the village.
There she is.
I took the drone out over the ravine and looked back towards the village, with the coastline far in the background. The trees were getting in the way of my signal, so we moved to another open spot closer to the house. And finally I could get a shot of the icon of the village, something that's nowhere else on that entire peninsula, the three mesas. The first one I'll call Little Sister. It's a hunk of rock that juts up about 250 feet from the river floor. It was once flat-topped, but a massive earthquake in the 1920s caused most of it to collapse, leaving a narrow shark fin of limestone. Next in line is what I call Little Brother Mountain. Shaped like a cylinder with near vertical sides, this one has an ample forest on its top. And finally, the Lord of the Valley, Big Brother Mountain. A ascending about 1,000 feet from the river. This mountain is plainly visible from anywhere in the village. This mountain loomed large in my psyche as a child. And once I became a teenager, I climbed it 3 times. Scattered clouds made me decide to land the drone. And as I walked around the area, I felt a distinct pain in my right ankle. It seems as though my sore muscles were healing, and today I was able to get some good drone shots. However, in my haste to hurry over to the helicopter pad to get some good drone shots, I seem to have pulled a tendon in my ankle, and suddenly I can barely walk. So I may not be fully ready to go down the trail tomorrow. We may have to wait an extra day.
Here comes the rain, right across from that valley. It always comes from this direction. We had a dry morning until about 12:30. And then we got the usual rain.
After another amazing meal, it was time to hang out in the usual way.
Ganti. Ya, Papa. Ayo, ayo. Nyanyi.
One of the older ladies came by. She was one of the few people here that was actually old enough to remember me when I was a child. Then it was time for a final play of the gongs. We didn't have the traditional double-sided drum, so one of the guys grabbed the closest analog he could find, a large plastic barrel. It was so huge, he could barely get his arms around it. When the older woman saw the blue plastic drum, she just couldn't help but laugh, along with everybody else. So after breakfast, we closed up the house and made our way down through the village.
Well, we're going to set out now. We were discussing whether I should stay an extra day because of my ankle, but we decided that I would at least give it a try. And if I make it down to the river and I feel okay, then I'll keep going. I don't have really any time to spare, so I really want to get out of here today and say goodbye to the house.
It was good to see the village from top to bottom one last time. And it was good to see some of the older people that recognized me from all those years ago.
Lama sekali. Kijo haven't seen that man in a long time. Lama sekali.
The ascent to the village had built a sense of expectation. And conversely, the descent from the village was a bit of a letdown.
I am not looking forward to this. This ankle is going to be a mess. We got about 20-something crossings. It's going to be really rough going.
It was agonizing. The weak, slipper-like footwear provided no ankle support, and I was leaning on my staff, hobbling like an old man.
The water is not so clear as it was yesterday. It's a little murky. The rains have made it get a bit higher. It's not so bad, but we do have to kind of pay attention. We tried to cross up ahead of the rock. It was just too swift. Only one guy could make it. So now they're going to pull people across one at a time. She's having trouble.
We've just finished the river section, thank goodness. Those floppy shoes without ankle support was just murder on those stones. But soon enough, we were at the turnoff and up the ridges, which was easier for me because now I could wear my hiking boots.
Sa aja hayaan, Dek. Oh, hayaan yan. Kasi nung pili ko.
Kalau menjual hawan yuk keret.
Dekat jam 3.
Cepat sekali kita sampai.
Oh, cepat. Like. We're almost at the village. However, it's about 3 o'clock.
I was hoping to get to the lowland village before the afternoon rains hit, but...
Well, apparently we're not going to be that lucky, because here comes the rain. You can see it. That's not a cloud, that's rain. And we're going to get slammed. And we are yards away. It always seems to work that way when I'm in this area. It's very nostalgic, finishing a hike in the rain.
I finally rolled in, or rather, hobbled into the village. Almost immediately, an older man in a blue shirt walked over. He seemed to recognize me, but I didn't understand him. I sat down in a house owned by one of my father's best friends. He pointed at his back and then made a motion with his hands, resembling a backpack. He was talking about how he carried me once. This was Mesak, the man who had carried me up the mountain all those years ago. So we sat down and had tea together, arm in arm. I was a little battered up, and I was quite out of shape, so I was glad to be back in one piece. Tune in next time as I complete my trip through eastern Sulawesi and see some new and amazing locations along the way.